Sorry, my mic wasn't on. Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here today, and I'd like to thank Councilmember Porterfield and the Council Budget Committee for having me. I've enjoyed collaborating with this committee and with Councilmember Stiles and the Arts, Parks, Libraries, and Entertainment Committee. Let me say first that we appreciate Mayor O'Connell's and Metro Council's support. This support enables the library to deliver great customer service as a Metro department. NPL exists to serve everyone in our community every day. The library's budget request for FY25 reflects that passion for public service. It is our vision for how we will serve all people in all of Nashville's neighborhoods. I'd also like to acknowledge several library colleagues and representatives who have come here with me today in support of this vision. Members of the Library Board of Trustees, Rosalind Carpenter, Dr. Nadine De La Rosa, Kate Zell, and I think I got everybody that's here with us. Members of the library senior leadership team, which includes Susan Dry, our Assistant Director for Administrative Services, Andrea Fanta, who is our NPL Marketing Manager, and Jenna Smith, Interim Assistant Director for Branch Services. Sean Bacher, who is our President of the Foundation, and several library leaders who manage some of NPL's key programs and initiatives. And Paige Clancy and members of the Library Advocacy Committee and NPL's library ambassadors. Oh, Keith Simmons is here, so one of our other library board members is also here. So thank you for that. I really appreciate everyone being here to support us today. But before I talk about our vision for FY25, I'd like to present a quick review of our library's performance. It is important to provide transparency about the data-driven ways that we measure success. Like most libraries, we measure ourselves in 5 key metrics: the number of free programs, classes, and events we host, circulation, which is the borrowing of library materials, door count, which is the number of visits to the library, use of NPL's public computers, and library card registrations. So from fiscal year 23 to fiscal year 24, Nashville Public Library is on track to achieve year-over-year growth. And that's significant because libraries across the country are not experiencing this same growth. We have predict an 18.5% increase in our programs, which will represent more than 15,000 programs with 270,000 people attending those programs system-wide. A 9% increase in circulation. That represents a total of 6.5 million checkouts. In fact, in fiscal year 23, we checked out an unprecedented 6.3 million materials system-wide. We are going to see a 24% increase in our visitors for a total of 2.7 million visits. A 5% increase in public computer usage for a total of more than 250,000 computer sessions. And a 12.5% increase in library card signups, which will bring us to more than almost 50,000 new card holders for just this fiscal year. So let me take a moment to celebrate the value that NPL created for the community with the FY24 dollars that you entrusted to us. The library has spent the fiscal year doing work that we love and that we know makes a difference in the community. Nurturing young minds and young readers, growing the library's footprint, creating spaces for civic dialogue, and supporting underserved Nashvillians. For example, a new outreach specialist joined the Limitless Libraries team to serve school librarians and students through our lending partnership with Metro Nashville Public Schools. We will open our new Donaldson branch on June 24th. More than 1,400 students participated in after-school programs funded by the Nashville After School Alliance. Another 1,034 slots are funded for summer programs, and the new funding for FY24 allowed an additional 85 slots in the summer and 204 slots during the school year. And 90% of those students that participate in NASA are satisfied with that program. Meanwhile, a first-time traveling children's librarian is serving neighborhoods surrounding 8 branches who do not have a dedicated full-time children's librarian. Since she began offering children's programs in March, our traveling librarian has brought 130 programs to 16 community sites, and she has also offered 34 5-story times at our Luby, East, and Edgehill branches. Meanwhile, Nashville Public Library is translating the website into Spanish and Arabic. The library has also hosted 57 tours and field trips in the Votes for Women room for more than 1,200 customers, with more to come. Finally, the Nashville Public Library Equal Access Department, with a library for the deaf and hard of hearing and a talking library audio information service, is serving customers not just across Nashville, but across Tennessee. All this was made possible in this fiscal year because of your support. So as we celebrate our successes, we also know that Nashville Public Library faces some challenges, including hiring. The most difficult positions to fill are in custodial, maintenance, and security. Out of our 466 positions, we currently have 32 Metro-funded vacancies, but with start dates for 5 of the vacancies on or before June the 10th. Susan and our HR manager, Sherry Adams, have worked diligently throughout this fiscal year to fill our vacancies. So we are committed to navigating the challenges as we provide the excellent service to more customers in fiscal year 25. I also want to mention that these vacancies that I'm listing are not the same positions that we have asked for in our budget. I strongly believe in the budget the library has requested for the next fiscal year. That is why we are excited about Mayor O'Connell's recommended operating budget, which includes the funding needed to fully staff our new Donaldson branch library. NPL has increased the Donaldson team from 6 to 17 people to operate this 2-story location that will measure more than 24,000 square feet. The new Donaldson branch will grow their collection by 10%. Children's programs will increase from 2 times a week to 5 times a week, 6 days a week. And for the first time, the Donaldson branch will have a dedicated teen librarian team. The branch will also house state-of-the-art equipment for learning in science, engineering, technology, art, and math, as well as a mobile demonstration kitchen, and with 2 new pieces of public art. And as I talk about a new building, it's a good time to acknowledge the unprecedented investments of capital that Metro recently made in Nashville Public Library, and we thank you for that. We will use these dollars for much-needed preventative maintenance work, renovations at our Green Hills and Hermitage branches, and a design work on the new facilities at Hadley Park and Richland Park, and a feasibility study in partnership with Metro Planning for the Inglewood branch. Council and the mayor have placed a lot of confidence in Nashville Public Library with these investments, and we are excited at the growth and the improvements these dollars will make for our customers. That said, if I had a chance to come before this committee, but not talk about funding for the Nashville Public Library collection, I would not be doing my job. Free books and materials are the backbone of our reading mission. The library has received support in this area. However, fiscal year 2021 was the only year that Nashville Public Library received $4 million for materials in the last 10 years. That's important to note since we are already on track to spend $4.1 million on books and materials by the end of this fiscal year. NPL needs at least $4 million in new funding just to maintain our current material contracts. This is not to grow the collection, this is to maintain the collection. Since May of '23, we had not received an allocation for materials until this past week with a $2 million from the 4% funds. It means that we will only receive $2 million for the collections in this fiscal year. And as I mentioned in my budget presentation to the mayor's office, in comparing Nashville Public Library to 25 of our like libraries, we are 23rd of 25, and that's not in a good way. Like, we are ranking at the bottom of those other library systems. For example, Seattle actually serves a population of 800,000 with a budget for collection of $10 million. So, a compelling reason for increasing funding at NPL is how popular digital books have become. E-materials circulate because they are so convenient, but they are at a cost they are more cost than circulating our physical materials. This fiscal year so far, e-materials have made up 61% of our total circulation. Meanwhile, the cost of e-materials have increased in recent years, not just at NPL, but nationwide. For a single digital license for one book, it costs $75. This ebook can only be checked out by one customer at a time, and the license expires in 2 years. So remember, $75. One physical copy of the same book costs $16 and can remain permanently in the collection. So as council makes future decisions for 4% dollars, we hope you will keep the library collection top of mind. So Councilmember Porterfield, thank you to you and this committee for your time. The opportunity to serve as NPL's interim library director has been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be honest, at every phase of my 46-year career in libraries, my passion is and has always been about the impact that the library makes in the community. I hope the thank you notes that you receive from your constituents during National Library Week demonstrate the impact that NPL makes in the lives of our community every day. Each day, the NPL team works for a trusted community organization that serves all people. We are the stewards of places and spaces where everyone is welcome. We support readers, thinkers, and leaders of all ages. We offer the joy of books and reading, and we are Nashville's civic living room. I also want to acknowledge and appreciate every staff member and how they support customers every day. It is a privilege to serve the people of Nashville, and we are always grateful for your support. So I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that amazing presentation. We appreciate all you all do to support Nashville and Davidson County, and especially love the Limitless Library and the ability for students to be able to check out library books from their schools. That's a wonderful program, so thank you. I'll start with the Chair of Arts, Parks, Libraries, and Entertainment, Council Lady Stiles. You're recognized.
Thank you very much, Chair. Ms. Luke, could you do me a favor? Could you let council members know about the safety inspector that you are asking for?
Yes.
In your request?
I will be happy to do that. And I'm also going to have Susan add to that as well, because this would be a position within her department. So I want people to understand that we do have a security manager, but that security manager is managing all of our 21 locations. And on top of that, then is also needing to do all of the safety inspections, TOSHA, and also teach staff about being safe and secure in the library. And that's really important because our number of incidents and the severity of the incidents of our security it is just increasing. We even had a shooting inside the library in August at the Bordeaux branch. And because those staff were trained in a way through our security manager, Chief Drake acknowledged how well they did in response to keeping not only the customers, but the staff safe during that time. But I'm going to let Susan expand on the actual specifics of the position. Oh, do you want this?
Is it on? So the safety inspector position would
one
be
doesn't-
under our safety and security manager. They would take over doing the safety inspections, doing the trainings, making sure that we are as a system following, yeah, it is, yeah, following OSHA, TOSHA. If we have surplus, making sure that that's taken care of, that the hallways are clear. Basically freeing up our safety and security manager so that he can focus on security matters and take the safety off his plate. We have 550,000 square feet of space that we have to make safe and make secure. It's too much for the safety and security manager, and so this position would be needed to help alleviate some of that for him so that we can focus more on the security.
Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady Stiles. And I saw Council Lady Swear, Council Lady Benedict, Councilmember Bradford, Councilmember Huffman. Am I missing anyone? All right, Council Lady Swear, you can kick us off.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the presentation, and I want to say that your questionnaire was one of the ones that I had the most fun reading because of the accomplishments and the way it was highlighted. I think it makes it easy to want to say this is what you use the money for. How do we help you in the future? Everyone gives the presentation, but not in written form like this. So thank you for that written analysis. The ask that I wanted to ask you about is the interpretation services. There's something in there about trying to do it in 6 languages. Can you speak to this? And it's only 35,000. That is not funded right now.
That's correct. Do you want to go?
Sure. We know that in Nashville, Davidson County, there are more than 6 languages other than English spoken. Those are the most prominent, and I can't name them all off the top of my head.
Here's the ones that were. So the 6 that would be included are Spanish, Kurdish, Arabic, Somali, Burmese, and Vietnamese. This came up as a part of, us serving 18, there are at least 18 different languages at our Southeast location. So we are looking at ways that we can improve our services. So the first thing we did was all of the branches have the Say Hi app on available for their customers. But with the translation service, it would be great because there would be someone at the other end of the phone that could actually, be talking to that person in their native language. And so we picked the top 6 based on the customers that we serve. We're also changing our signage. We are doing a pilot at the new Donaldson branch, so they will have their signage in Arabic, Spanish, and then also Braille will be on our signs as well.
Thank you. I think as we talk about access or equity, access is a big part of it, and language access is there. So the work that you do with other languages, as well as for those that are hearing impaired, I think is commendable. So this is something that I think we should be funding, and I just want to thank you for your work.
Thank you. We also, with this year's money, we were able to translate the website into both Spanish and Arabic. You're welcome. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Council Lady Swear. Next, we have Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for all the work that you do. I want to just clarify, this body ranked in the capital improvements budget process rankings that the council does, Thinglewood Library idea of, which is still just an idea at this point. I wanted to mention that, or you mentioned it in your narrative, and I want to confirm that there's no funding in this budget for that, and that the feasibility study that's being done was funded in the current fiscal year by the mayor going to the planning department. that correct?
that is
Okay.
correct.
I just want to make sure that that doesn't, nobody goes to cut any of that, so.
Yes. No, and that also is, when you look at our capital spending money that we were allocated for both Richland Park and for Hadley Park, those are just design dollars. So I'll be coming back to say, now we need the money to move forward to actually build that dream that we designed.
Okay, great. And then I will make sure that I'm reading or listening to my audiobooks digitally through Libby in the one periods. I'm not renewing them because I know you now are paying $75 for those, so I'll make sure that I return them quickly.
Thank
On your
you.
questionnaire, you mentioned branch staffing to bring branches to staffing minimum state levels. Is that included in your in the mayor's budget?
No, so that the thing that was included in the mayor's budget was the other 6 months of funding for the Donaldson branch. So we went from 6 positions to 17. So the safety coordinator and the branch staffing was not included in the recommendation.
And so that's 6 employees, 6 FTEs rather, at $490,800. And so I just wanted to make sure. So that when minimum state levels, is that a recommendation or is that a requirement?
So it is a recommendation from the state, and the thing that we're looking at is trying to bring up each location. When you look at our neighborhood libraries, there are 8 of them, and right now there are 4 staff members. And so we opened those neighborhood libraries on Friday, which we are really grateful for, but then there's 2 people that work on both Friday and then Saturday. So if we can get some of those up to minimums, our Bordeaux branch has 13 FTEs and the state minimum is 15. So we were really thinking if we could get these positions, and we divided it over 3 years so that it wouldn't be as much of a fiscal impact. So we asked for, I believe, a total of 11, but for this year, next year, and the following year.
Thank you so much. And our employees in particular, I'm going to stick with District 7, more activity per square foot than any other branch in the system, more scans per employee than any other branch in the system. They're doing a stellar job for us. So thank you so much. And to Suzanne and her team. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Benedict.
Nice shout out for your district there, Councilmember Benedict. Next, we have Councilmember Bradford. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. My question goes back to the capital spending plan and the budget. A lot of things have been funded in both. I just want to know with your master plan, so a lot of these projects that are getting funded this year, they were slated for years in the past and they were just not getting to it. So where are you at right now with this current spending plan, this current budget? Where are you at with that master plan?
So thank you for that question. Our master facilities plan was put together, and when I went to submit the capital spending plan request, if we wanted to bring everything up to where it needed to be, I believe it was $119 million. So those projects have been delayed over time. And when I got here 5 years ago, the new Donaldson branch, we did a groundbreaking. And so now it took even 5 years to get that building built and now being able to open it.
We really appreciate, the new library coming in Donaldson, and I'm hoping that in years to come, we can help get you caught up on that, because I know my district has been chomping at the bits and is really, really desperate for some library services. So looking forward to helping you in the future.
Thank you. And it was nice to see you at Donaldson event.
Thank you, Councilmember Bradford. I'm actually going to jump in since my question is also about the library master plan. Can you share where you all are with the Smith Springs branch, the one that was projected to be near Smith Springs and Anderson Road?
I can answer if you want me to.
Sure.
There was property available at one time out on Smith Springs across from the Parks Rec Center there. We have had money requested in our capital budget, I think probably for 6 years. That property's long gone. We still need services out in that area. That's one of the most populated areas that has the closest branch to them is Southeast. If we can find some land out in the Smith Springs area, we would love to build a branch out there.
And if you looked at our priorities for the capital spending plan, after Hadley Park, it was the Edge Hill Branch, Thompson Lane land acquisitions, and then Miss Springs. So it is at the top of our list.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I'll follow up with you all offline because I have a couple of more questions about that in particular. Council Lady Styles, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just wanted to say briefly, kind of to piggyback on Council Member Wara's comments, your presentation to the committee was so concise, and how you've used the funds that you've been given over the past budget cycles and the ability to break it down so we know exactly where every single dollar went is very appreciated. And I hope, council members, if you get a chance, ask them offline what they are doing with the courtyard right now and the craziness that we did when we built that and how they are fixing it. It is pretty impressive and tremendous. So thank you for all that you're doing, and you are a wonderful investment.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Council Lady Styles. Next, we have Councilmember Huffman.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Director Luke, for visiting us today. I just want to echo everything my colleagues have said. Your budget has been clear, concise. Thank you for that. I also want to note that in my district, we have the Hermitage Library, and I cannot say enough good things about Emily Talbot, the staff there. It's an integral part of our community, and you've been a great partner for a multitude of projects that we've had there, so thank you for that. I had a question, two specific questions, and I think it's more special funding related. One is around the puppet show, which I think is amazing and award-winning, I believe.
Yes.
Where is that at within the line item? Is it within the special purpose fund budget? No?
No.
Okay.
So actually, Sean Blocker and the foundation, they raised funding for Wishing Chair Productions. And so we are so fortunate. One of the reasons that I moved here, I was in North Carolina for 32 years, and I came because of the fact that we had an award-winning library system, and all of the things that the foundation does to raise funding allows us to have what I would call the icing on the cake and provide those special programs. And then, go ahead. I think were you going to add something?
Well, the Wishing Chair Productions is located under the Children's Division at the main library, if that's I think that's the question you were asking.
Sorry.
I assumed that. I just didn't want to. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking like where the money came from for that program.
No.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. One more question, and it's more around curiosity. You quoted $75 for one digital book, is that right? And that's
Yes.
good for 2 years?
Yes.
So you said that the prices are going up across the board. That seems really high.
And the thing is that the libraries can't control, even back to when Director Oliver was here, they had a group with urban libraries directors, and they have put together all types of documentation, but it's the vendors that actually have what would you call it? The market on those, and so we don't get to control. And when you think about it, 66% of that circulation of our materials, when we did over 6 million last year, that's more than 3 million books that are checked out. And it's convenient for our customers. But I just wanted, I've really been educated over the last couple years on how expensive they are, and how just trying to demonstrate we really do need the 4 million in our collection budget.
And the 66%, you answered my next question, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilmember Huffman. Do we have any additional questions? Councilmember Bradford, you're recognized.
Thank you. Just wanted to follow up on that last line of questioning. I know the libraries are wanting to be equitable and everybody have access, but I'm wondering because, the e-materials, especially e-books, is kind of a premium item. Have you looked at maybe what like Kindle and all these other programs, like what they charge for like a monthly subscription and look, well, if all these companies average $20 a month, how about we come in and say, well, for $5 a month, you have a membership with the library. That way, that's some funds coming in to help offset the money you're paying for these books. Or is that something that y'all have looked at doing and to try and help with that cost?
You know, to be honest, that's a good question. I would have to ask our collection manager, Noelle Rutherford. She is known and respected throughout the country. So I would believe that if that could benefit Nashville Public Library, that we would have explored that, but I can get back to you.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions, colleagues? I have two really quick questions. You mentioned the 4 million to maintain the materials. Is that to maintain materials that you already have? And I just had a clarifying question on that because it seemed as though maybe 2 million of that 4 million is funded. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So is the other two, my apologies, I just want to clarify the question. Is the other 2 million that's needed, is that to resubscribe to those digital books that are $75 for 2 years? Is that what that 2 million is for? I'm trying to understand
Sure.
what you need to make, what is needed to maintain books that you already own.
Sure. So we have a lot of subscriptions. So we have our databases and other items that are part of that additional 2 million that we would spend for the total of 4 million. So what we're trying to do is maintain what our current collection is and our the contracts that we have and the subscriptions that we have, the databases with that additional 2 million.
But that's also for new materials that may come out as well.
Okay, thank you so much. And with that, thank you all so much for coming today. And thank you for all of the services that you provide. Oh, one last thing, it was a comment. I just wanted to thank you all for being an inclusive space. Whenever I go to the downtown branch, many times I see individuals that are unhoused there, but they are treated with so much dignity. And I've spoken with several individuals there, and they've talked about how they really appreciate the services that you all offer, appreciate having a safe space for people to gather and read books and just do different programming. So I just wanted to thank you all for the humanity that you all offer there.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for having us.
All right, colleagues, we're going to